You and I have the same 24 hours in the day. And if I can do what I do while still having my 9 to 5, I'm sure you can too. What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Juancho back again with another vid, and welcome back. For those who are fresh in the channel, welcome. Please hit the like button. It helps the algorithm and it helps your boy out. Look man, if you're ready to make a change in your life, rewire your brain and have a starting point, please subscribe and let's engage in this journey together. Let's get to it. So this video is about discipline. I'm here to teach you and tell you my story on how discipline changed my life around, because at some point discipline is what helped me when motivation failed me. I didn't change my life because I wanted to. I changed my life around because I needed to. It was a must. I decided and I realized that life wasn't going well for me. Things weren't changing, things weren't moving. The days were just passing by. I felt like I was wasting time. I felt like I had no purpose in life. I absolutely had nothing going on for myself. I was drinking, I was partying, I was out with friends. I was getting consumed by fake dopamine, by watching TV, watching porn, partying, drinking, absolutely everything that had or didn't bring any value to my life. Eventually, I came across the word discipline. This is what taught me how to stay true to myself. It taught me how to become a better person. It taught me how to have self-worth. It taught me things that no person, book, or class could ever teach me. It taught me things on how to set goals for myself and truly be able to accomplish them. Because I'm not gonna lie to you now, I feel like every one of us goes through this stage, get these spurs of motivation, and we wake up one day and we say, I'm gonna go hard today, make a change, do things differently. But unfortunately, motivation is just a spur of the moment. You can have motivation for a day or two, and it fades, it goes away. And then what? We're back to square one. We're back to doing the same old mundane things that we keep doing. Drinking, partying, smoking, watching porn, being useless. I don't think that's who you want to be. It's definitely not who I want to be. When motivation faded, I realized that there was something missing, because I would start a project and I would give up on it. I would fail myself. I don't think you want to fail yourself. Whenever you get this motivation spurs and you set some goals down and you write them down in a book, you start writing things down, and eventually you turn the page and you leave that in the past because you feel motivated to do something. 2 or 3 days later, that page is now in the back of the book. Now that page is gone. Your aspirations are gone. Your goals are gone. You left your future behind once again. Why is that? It's because motivation is not an enough factor to drive you to continue and keep pushing when life gets tough. See, we all have moments where, let's take the gym for example. We go to the gym, we start going to the gym once, twice, 3 times a week. And eventually, life happens. All of a sudden you have an appointment. Now you gotta miss the gym because you gotta make this appointment. So now you set that gym to the next day, or you push it out. Or you have to show up to work earlier because your boss needed you. And again, you delayed the process. And then now, you become accustomed to your old habits again. You leave what your purpose was and you leave it behind and you forget about it. And that's the worst thing that you can ever do for yourself, is leave your goals and aspirations behind and forgetting about them, and then come back 2-3 months later and you find yourself in the same position that you were months ago. And guess what? Nothing's changed. Everything's still the same. You're still engaging in bad habits, bad attitude. You still wake up depressed, no sense of feeling. You still think that life's just passing by, and you get adjusted and accustomed to a mediocre life. That's the worst thing that you can do. Now, discipline forces you to be different. Discipline is what teaches you to stay on track with what you have set in mind for yourself, for your future, for your life, for your family. If you have wife and kids, if you're not disciplined, you're not gonna get a better job. You're not gonna get a better salary. You're not gonna start that business. You're not gonna look good. And you're not gonna be, and let me be frank with you, you're not going to be man enough to take care of your family. Why do I say that? Because if you don't work on yourself, if you don't work to improve your lifestyle, your mindset, your body, that only tells you one thing. You don't love yourself enough to pursue your dreams. You don't love your body enough to look good for yourself. You don't love your life enough to make a change and better yourself. So if you don't love yourself or your life or your body, how are you supposed to take care of your family? Put it for an example. I'm sure we've all gone through some sort of plane ride at some point in our times, in our life. And if you haven't, you will. But if you have, you always have the flight attendants at the very beginning of the flight explain to you the process in case of an emergency, in case of a lack of oxygen. What's the one thing that they tell you? Always put on your mask first before you help the next person. Because if you don't help yourself first, how are you able to help the next person? How are you gonna help your family, your wife, your kids, your mom and dad, grandparents? If you don't have your life set, a lot of our worries in life is to make sure that our families are okay. Make sure that if something happens to us, our wife and kids are protected. Make sure that we, at some point, are able to retire our parents and care for them when they're at old age. But we can't do that if our life, if our every single day stays on repeat, over and over and over. Stuck at the same job, dealing with the same people every day, dealing with your boss that you so hate. Because yes, nobody likes to have a boss. I don't like my boss. I'm sure you don't like your boss. Why? Because you're trading time for money. Every single day you wake up, you get ready, and you go to work. And it's like clockwork. Life's just passing by like a movie clip. Picture yourself in one position, in a chair. And all that changes is the background. You're sitting down in your car driving to work. You're sitting down in your desk at work. Then you sit at home in your kitchen table and eat. And then you go to bed. And you wake up the next day and do it all over again. Day after day, week after week, month after month. Is that really the life that you want for yourself? With no change. When you decide to make a change, when you get these spurs of motivation and you say, man, I'm gonna start that business. Man, I wanna go to the gym. Man, I'm gonna start reading more. You have that motivation for that instance. But if you apply discipline, now you're making a commitment to yourself. Now you're making a promise to yourself. Because it doesn't matter if life throws things at you. If life throws a punch across your face and tries to break you down, discipline will hold you accountable to you, to your worth, to everything that you stand for. Once you implement discipline in your life, it doesn't matter if it rains, hails, or storms. You will get up in the morning and go hit that gym session. because you have a goal in mind. You promised yourself you would be fit. You promised yourself you will read a book every day, 10 pages a day, 30 minutes a day, whatever it is. Watching educational videos, starting a new class to improve your skill sets. But if you stay disciplined, you stay true to your word, you remind yourself every single day that you're doing something for a reason, and you're not gonna let that goal fade. Not today, not tomorrow, and not ever. Every single day, you push forward and keep pushing until, here's the catch, it becomes a habit. Once it becomes a habit, there's no turning back. Because just like you get up every single morning and you know that you have to get up every single morning to go work at that 9 to 5 and trade your time for money, now you'll know that every single day you wake up to train, or you wake up to do your affirmations, or maybe you read before you go to bed. Every single day. Let me give you an example. Right now, sitting here watching this video, have you thought about your breathing pattern? Did you ever forget to breathe? I don't think so. But now that I mentioned it, now you're aware. Oh my God, I'm breathing. If I shove you in a pool and hold your head down, do you think you're gonna think about your boss? You think about the next day of work, your bank account, anything absolutely but breathing. Getting the oxygen in your lungs because you're dying. That's how bad you need to want your success. You need to want it just as bad as you want to breathe. That is discipline. That is the reason why you start now and why you keep going tomorrow, and the next week, and the next month. Discipline teaches you to do these things until you no longer need to push yourself to do it, because now it's an engraved habit that's become you, part of your DNA, part of who you are. That's what discipline does for you. Now you may wonder or ask me, hey Juancho, but if I stay disciplined going to the gym, how's that going to improve my life? I'll tell you how. If you start going to the gym and rebuild your body, it's gonna help your self-confidence. It's gonna help the outlook that you have in life. You have a goal, you have drive, and because of all of that, you have motivation to keep going. But it all starts with discipline. And you can apply that to absolutely anything that you want. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be to become a millionaire, to become rich, to become the best man of the world or the next president. It's about you. It's about your life. It's about improving yourself through any means possible. But the greatest reward to all of this is that once you engage in this path of discipline and commitment to yourself, riches will come, success will come, a new you will come. Because believe it or not, there's a future you waiting, hoping, begging that you take action today and truly stick to it this time. Not like the previous times that you failed yourself. You should sit there and reflect back on every time that you have failed yourself. How many times have you failed yourself? After this video, I want you to take a notebook, one sheet of paper, and write down everything that you have done for yourself. Every goal that you have thought about in the past. Every idea that came across your mind. Every engagement that you had to improve your life. and ask yourself, how many of those have you failed yourself? Because you started and let go. Because you started and you forgot about it. Because you started and didn't do anything about it. Maybe you had a thought or an idea in your mind and you said, maybe this, oh man, this could be a great one. This could be the change in my life. And then you got up, had a cup of coffee, had breakfast, had a few laughs here and then, throw on some jokes, got on your phone, scrolled through Instagram, TikTok, or whatever it is that you do. Watch TV. And that idea faded away, gone. Never thought about it again. Could have been a great idea. Maybe that could have been your chance at success. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you to mourn, cry about it, and put yourself down because you didn't accomplish your goals. No, I want you to take that feeling and tell yourself, I am going to do this, because if you set your mind to it initially and forgot about it, maybe this is your time to remember and reflect back and say, hey, maybe I had a stoppage time. Maybe I had a roadblock in the road. But today I'm gonna make a difference. Today I'm gonna dedicate myself and I'm gonna swear to myself that I will accomplish what I told myself I would do. That's what you need to do. You need to sit back and reflect and tell yourself you're finally going to do that thing you really wanted to do. Put dedication into it, not just motivation. Like I said, motivation fades. Dedication doesn't. Discipline doesn't. Commitment doesn't. Stay committed to yourself. You don't want to sit there in your whole life and regret not having done anything for yourself or any improvement. The clock keeps ticking. That handle keeps moving and it doesn't wait for you. Time is the one thing that you can never get back. Money, you can go work and make it again. Your savings account is depleted. You can go work. You can make that money back. That business failed. You can start another one. You can always get everything that you have or don't have. You can always get it. You can get it back. But time, man, time doesn't wait. How old you are today, you're never gonna be this old ever in your life again. And unfortunately, we don't all live forever. See, at some point, I absolutely hated the phrase, you only live once, until I realized the true meaning behind it. You do only live once. Maybe there's an afterlife. Maybe you're spiritual, I'm spiritual, I believe in God, I love God, and I thank God for everything He's done for me. So I do believe that there's an afterlife. But this life, here, present, you'll never get to live this life again. Now the big question is, what type of impact are you going to leave in this life? When you're gone, what are you leaving behind? What's your legacy? Let me put this thought into your mind. Have you ever thought about what phrase or sentence or words are going to go in your tombstone? No, right? Maybe that hit hard. What are they going to say about you? He was disciplined, he started a business, he was the best man ever, he was the best husband ever, he was a great father, he built a future for his family, he left a legacy behind. Or he was selfish, he was stuck his whole life, he was a dreamer, but never accomplished anything. Is that you? Is that what you want for yourself? Is that what you want to leave behind? Or what if you never build a fortune for yourself or a successful life or had a successful career, or you didn't start that 401k, or you didn't start that business, you racked up debt, you were fat, skinny, you weren't strong. Maybe at the age of 60, 70, you're in a wheelchair. because you didn't treat your body right, because you didn't treat your life right? Are you gonna do that? Is that what you're gonna leave behind? What if you rack up so much debt and never commit yourself to paying it off, doing something about it, and now your family has to run with that? It all starts with discipline. And once you sit down and realize that there's something inside you, there's that desire to be better, to know that there's a better you out there. Once you realize that and put it in your head, put it in your heart, only then you'll have the discipline to stick it out and complete any goals that you have in mind. Discipline helped me out enormously. A couple years back, I went through a very tough situation. My relationship was ending. My life was a mess. I had nothing going for myself. And I thought that life was absolutely meaningless, pointless, worthless. I didn't want to live anymore. And then something hit me. I found myself in a hospital. And God had given me a second chance at life. Had that not happened, I don't know what would have been said for me. Yeah, maybe my mother would have cried. Not maybe, she would have cried. But beyond that, my name would be gone forever. Forever. Why? Because people still have to eat. People still have to go to work. People still have debt to pay off. So they're not gonna sit there and complain or remember somebody who didn't pour anything into this world, who didn't give back, who didn't create a legacy for himself. That's not who you want to be. So yes, in that deathbed, something hit me so deep in my heart. It said, I've been given a second chance at life. That's when I decided to make a change, to finally make a difference. I started going to the gym. I dedicated my days to bettering myself in numerous ways. The gym was my first alternative. It was my first motive. It was my first go around. I started going to the gym because I had a mindset. I had a goal in mind. I wanted to be stronger. I wanted to be physically fit. I wanted to look good without a shirt. And even with a long sleeve shirt, I wanted to look good. I didn't want to have to wear around a tank top to show off my gains. No, I want people to see me well dressed with no effort and say, that man goes to the gym. That's the type of motivation that I had. And then after that came discipline. Because I was so motivated to look good, to feel good, feel great about who I was and how I looked. But discipline is what helped me get here. Now I could walk around with a jacket on and people will still compliment me and how I look and ask me. I've gotten asked around, how much do you bench? How much do you squat? How often do you go to the gym? What's your routine? And I'm not even walking around shirtless or in a tank top. That's how good I've built my physique. Thanks to discipline. I stayed disciplined and I went to the gym every single day, nonstop, because I had a goal in mind. I made a promise to myself that I would be the person that I wanted to be. I wanted to be healthy. I wanted to be physically active. I wanted to do something for myself. And then the gym taught me many other things that we could talk about in a different video. But beyond that, I started implementing that discipline because I realized I can make a change. If I truly stick to something and I put my desire and faith into it, it will happen. It starts here and here. but it's followed on by actions. Because any idea, dream, or desire without action is just that, an idea, a dream, or a desire. So I backed my beliefs through actions. I stayed disciplined. I went consistently. So I applied that to other things in my life. I would spend hours, endless hours watching TV. That TV back there hasn't been turned on in roughly about a week. I don't have a desire to watch TV. I think it's useless. It doesn't bring any value to me. I watch videos on my laptop because the videos I watch are motivational, are inspirational, are educational. Everything that I do for myself now needs to bring some sort of value to my life. I have books that I read. I dedicated myself to improving other aspects of my life other than just my physical fitness and my physical body. See, a lot of people that go to the gym, they understand that every muscle in your body is important to train, because you can't have a big upper body with chicken legs. You can't have that. It looks ugly, right? It's not aesthetically pleasing. You want to have big arms, so you got to train arms. You got to have big legs, so you got to train legs, right? Did you know that your brain is also a muscle? How do you train your brain? You don't go to the gym to train your brain. You train your brain through reading, dumping mass amount of knowledge into your brain, things that bring value, right? So if I go to the gym and I work out, but I work out weak, without effort, without maximizing my potential, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna do much for me. Or if I go to the gym and try to improve my body, but right after the gym, I make a pit stop at McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell, I'm not gonna do anything to my body because I'm adding things that are not value to my body. They're not providing nutrients for my body to grow. Same thing happens with your brain. If you don't add nutrients to your brain, it's not going to grow. It's not going to get better. So whatever you feed your mind, that's exactly what you're gonna get out of it. If you watch TV constantly, if you watch TV before going to bed, that's the type of stuff that's going to remain in your mind throughout your ROM time, your ROM sleep time. Versus if you read something engaging, something that brings value to you. If you read about biographies, how to become a millionaire, how to make money, how to rewire your brain, how to change your lifestyle, all this stuff is gonna get drilled into your brain, and overnight your brain's gonna work. It's gonna make connections. And listen, by no means am I a scientist or neurologist, or I'm not educated in none of that, so don't hate if I'm spitting out the wrong words here. But you get the point. So it's important what you feed your mind. You need to feed your mind with things that are going to bring a value to your life, that are going to enrich your mindset and shift your mindset. You gotta stay disciplined to everything that you put your mind to. So whatever those goals are, fitness, reading, improving your mindset, improving your goals, you need to stay dedicated to it and find ways to feed that into your life and incorporate those things into your life. Now, you may think that this is a lot, and trust me, it is. It's heavy work to implement all these things in your life because we all have busy lives. If you're not a successful entrepreneur, if you don't have a business for yourself, if you don't have passive income, I get it. I understand it's difficult. But that's just a roadblock. It doesn't mean that your future has to be put on pause. You can start small, but start fast. Don't delay the process because time does not wait for you. You need to do things now until you can make time. Listen, you and I have the same 24 hours in the day. And if I can do what I do while still having my 9 to 5, I'm sure you can too. I am sure you can too. Because I didn't start by filming videos all day, every day. I didn't start by reading an hour a day. I didn't start there. I started small. Started with 10 pages a day. Started watching educational videos on how to do YouTube or how to start my business, on how to do XYZ. I started small. But as I started and I stayed disciplined to these things, taken step by step, my brain changed. My mindset shifted. And I started seeing clearer. I started to see a clear picture of life. I realized that I have 24 hours in the day, yet I am choosing to sleep in. I used to wake up at like 10, 11 o'clock. That's almost midday. And I've wasted so many precious hours of the morning that could have been used to better myself, improve my mindset, make a change in my life. So by staying disciplined to smaller tasks, my mindset started to change and I started to see things that I could not see before. That's when my eyes opened to the world. That's when my eyes opened to all the possibilities and opportunities that are out there waiting for you. I started to think, well, what if I had a few extra hours of the day? So I started getting up early. I was like, you know what? I'm not longer gonna wake up at 10 or 11. Let me wake up at 8 o'clock. Start the day right. Started doing things. Now I have more time. And now I had more time to read. I had more time to do research, to engage in physical activity, whatever it is. And then once I got used to that, and I started filling my days, and I was like, dude, I don't have enough time. I said, well, how can I make more time? How can I optimize my days? And then I started to think, and I wrote down a list of all the things that I would do on a daily basis, right? And I wanted to scratch out all the useless things that I would do on a daily basis that could improve my time management. I realized that I was spending hours watching TV. I realized that I would spend hours on my phone scrolling. You know how much time do you waste scrolling through your phone, on TikTok, on Instagram, watching reels because you think it's funny? Let me tell you something. Those reels that you watch and you scroll, that's just helping somebody make money off of you. Why can't you do that? Instead of scrolling, why can't you start a business? Why can't you use that time to improve you? Instead of scrolling so much, you could be reading. You could be listening to a podcast. You could be meal prepping for the week. You could be cleaning your house. You could be doing something that's going to benefit you. So yes, I realized that there's so many things throughout the day that I was wasting my time on that I could be using for better. And I started doing that. And I eliminated TV. I minimized my screen time on my phone. Even now, I'm not gonna lie, these things never change, right? Even now, I'll pick up my phone and I'll find myself through TikTok, maybe like, let's say a minute or two, and I catch myself now because of my discipline, to my goals and my commitment. I catch myself and I'm like, what am I doing? And I put it down, I'm like, all right, let's do something, or let's focus back onto what I need to focus on. That's how everything it slowly started to compound. one thing after the other, after the other, after the other. But it all started because I made a promise to myself to change. And I didn't sit there and allowed myself to depend on motivation. I didn't allow myself to depend on being motivated to wake up. I didn't allow myself to depend on motivation to do what I needed to do on a daily basis. No, I stayed disciplined to what I needed to do. I implemented discipline and forced myself to do the things that even when I didn't want to do them, I did them anyways because it was law. It was mandatory. It was a requirement. Discipline is a requirement for success. It should be a requirement for you, because just like you're tired, you're sick of your life, you hate your boss, you hate people telling you that you're a nobody, you should use that as fuel to make a better you and to stay disciplined to whatever it is that you set your mind to. Stop missing out on opportunities. Stop missing out on key things in your life. You let opportunities pass by. I promise you. Bitcoin, back in the day, I missed out on it. You missed out on it. Why? Because I didn't have the right mindset. I didn't have the right chain of thought, and I'm sure you had it too. But now we look back and we're like, damn, I wish I had known about Bitcoin. I wish I had taken an opportunity. I wish I had taken a chance. But we didn't. And that's okay, because we can't go back and change the past. What we can do and we have control of is today and the actions we take today. What we do today matters. The choices we make today matter. The actions we take is what's going to build us. It's what's going to build you. It's what's going to turn your life around. It's what's going to change your mindset. It's going to build a better you. It's going to better your entire life as a whole. If you simply take actions and back them up with discipline, commitment, and relentless effort. That is the only way to truly and 100% make a change to your life. There's no other way. People think that there's a key path to success, or that we got to take this route and follow it. And yes, that's very true. Absolutely true. But it starts with discipline. It's a key foundation. Stay committed to yourself. Stay committed to you. Stay true to you. Your word matters. It should be everything to you. As a man, your word should be holy. Your word should be law. What you say you do, you should do it. Commit to it. Accomplish it. If you don't stay true to your word, then who are you as a man? Are you going to continue failing yourself? I hope not. I know I won't fail myself. I failed myself in the past. Not anymore. That's not who I am. I've rebuilt a new man, thanks to discipline and commitment. So what are you going to do now? Are you going to continue at your 9 to 5, running your day to day like nothing changes? Are you going to continue being that person with a moving background? Or are you going to make a change? Are you going to finally accept that something needs to change and take action to make it change, force a change? If you're ready to make a change in your life, rewire your brain, commit to yourself, drop a comment down below and say, let's get it. Let's start today. Or whatever it is that you feel motivated to put down. And use that as a baseline. And then go back and start an action plan. Write it down and tell yourself what you're going to do and how you're going to change your life around. I hope you guys found this video motivational, inspirational. I hope that you take the information I just provided to you and think about it, dwell on it, and do something about it, because actions matter. And that's the only way that you're going to turn your life around. Stay disciplined to yourself. See you on the next video.